Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I'll analyze the case of Renard Spivey. First I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then offer my analysis. Renard Leon Spivey was born in July 1956 and lived in Houston, Texas. In 1996, he took a job as a detention officer for the Harris County Sheriff's Office. 2 years later, he became a deputy. Starting in 2012, Renard was featured as a bailiff on the TV show Justice for All with Judge Christina Perez. He was in over 100 episodes of this show over the course of 7 years. Renard maintained his job as a deputy while working in show business. As far as his romantic life, Renard was married and divorced twice. In 2013, he became romantically involved with a woman named Patricia. She was about 11 years younger than Renard. Patricia worked as an executive assistant at a hospital. The couple married in 2015, which was Renard's third marriage. They moved into a 3-bedroom, single-story house located at 5013 Briscoe Street in Houston. In addition to enjoying their new house, the couple went on cruises together. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On Monday, July 29, 2019, at 3:10 a.m., Renard Spivey called 911 and told the operator, "Shots fired." It didn't appear as though Renard was interested in sharing a lot of information with the operator. He was cryptic on the phone call. He mentioned that a person was shot, and he had been shot as well. After 2.5 minutes, Renard indicated that he and his wife had an argument, and he accidentally shot her. When the police arrived, they found 52-year-old Patricia Spivey in the master bedroom closet. She had sustained gunshot wounds to her chest and right arm and did not survive. 63-year-old Renard Spivey had a gunshot wound to his left leg. He told the police that he and his wife had been arguing all day. Patricia shot him in the leg as they were tussling with a gun. Renard was taken to a hospital and treated for the injury to his leg. Here is what the police found during the course of their investigation. Patricia had been shot 2 or 3 times with a Smith & Wesson model SW9C chambered in 9mm Luger. The gun was owned by Renard and was found on a clothes hamper near the master bedroom closet. One bullet struck Patricia on the left side of her chest. Another bullet entered Patricia's right arm and exited her arm. This same bullet, or perhaps a different bullet, struck Patricia in the right side of her chest. This is why the police did not know if she had been shot 2 or 3 times. There were 3 entry wounds, but those could have been caused by only 2 bullets. Renard had been shot 1 time in the left leg with the same pistol. The fact that only 3 spent 9mm cases were found in the master bedroom closet supports the theory that only 3 rounds were fired in total. This means Patricia was only shot 2 times. Despite this, the investigators suspected that she may have been shot a 3rd time. They believed that Renard had walked into a different area of the house and used his pistol to shoot his own leg. This explains why the spent case from this cartridge was never recovered. He must have concealed it to hide evidence of the 4th gunshot. In addition to the gunshot wounds, Patricia had minor bruising on her wrists. This is consistent with some type of physical struggle. At 2:49 a.m., 18 minutes before she was killed, Patricia posted on Facebook. The message read, "Characterize people by their actions, and you will never be fooled by their words." There was a security camera inside Renard's kitchen, which was always recording. The camera captured audio as well as video. At 2:59 a.m., 10 minutes after the Facebook post, Patricia could be seen leaving the kitchen for the last time, headed toward the master bedroom. As she left, she deactivated the kitchen light. At 3:01 a.m., Patricia could be heard saying, "It's the same thing over and over again." Presumably, she was speaking to her husband, Renard. At 3:03 a.m., Renard can be seen walking in the kitchen, then walking back toward the master bedroom. 4 minutes later, at 3:07 a.m., 3 gunshots could be heard. The shots occurred over the course of a few seconds. About a minute and a half later, there was another sound captured, which the police believed was a 4th gunshot. According to the theory developed by the police, this would have been Renard using the gun to wound his leg. Renard Spivey was arrested and charged with murder. He did not make any further statements to the police and was released a few days later on a $50,000 bond. This seems pretty low for a murder charge. Renard quit his job at the sheriff's office and did not perform in any more episodes of the TV show. On November 28, 2023, Renard went on trial. On December 6th of that year, he was found not guilty. Now moving to my analysis. After Renard was acquitted, he gave an interview to the media. This was the first time he told his side of the story, other than those brief initial statements he made to the 911 operator and to the police at the scene of the shooting. Here is what happened on the night Patricia was killed, according to Renard. A lack of intimacy plagued the marriage. On the day of the shooting, Renard and Patricia argued, and she asked him if he was having an affair. He told her, "No, that's crazy." Renard approached his wife multiple times trying to kiss her, but each time she turned her phone away so he could not see the screen. She said, "I'm not kissing you." Patricia's behavior left Renard disturbed and curious. Later, when his wife fell asleep, Renard took Patricia's phone from her nightstand and entered the master bedroom closet. Right after this, he saw Patricia standing in the doorway of the closet with the pistol in her hand. Renard always kept the pistol on his nightstand, so his wife must have retrieved it from there. Patricia demanded that Renard return the phone to her, saying, "Give me the blank phone." Renard noticed that she had her finger on the trigger of the pistol. Fearful for his life, he grabbed the top of the pistol on the slide. As he did this, Patricia pulled away and the pistol discharged. Renard was struck in the leg. As he was falling down, he continued struggling with Patricia, trying to get the pistol away from her. The pistol discharged 2 more times in the process. Patricia was struck with both shots. According to Renard, the weapon only discharged 3 times in total. There was no 4th gunshot. This is supported by the recovery of only 3 spent cases. Renard's account of the shooting is consistent with him being innocent of any crime. Furthermore, he was found not guilty by the jury. The state of Texas, of course, disagrees with the verdict. They believe Renard intentionally shot Patricia 3 times before injuring himself with a 4th gunshot. This brings me to the question, was Renard Spivey guilty of murder? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that he was guilty, starting with the inculpatory factors. The firearm that was used to kill Patricia and wound Renard was owned by Renard. He indicated that 3 shots were fired in total, but a noise captured by the camera sounded like a 4th gunshot. If the pistol had actually been discharged 4 times, that doesn't look very good for Renard at all, because that last shot occurred 1.5 minutes after the first 3 shots. His accidental shooting story falls apart. When Renard called 911, it took him 2.5 minutes to mention that his wife had been shot. He told the operator that he was performing CPR. However, at one point, the camera captured Renard walking to the kitchen. He never mentioned this to the operator. Why did he leave his wife when he was supposed to be rendering aid? It is not a good idea to take a break from performing CPR. This could result in a less than optimal outcome for his wife. Renard was 6'3" and weighed 287 pounds. This meant that he had a weight advantage over Patricia of approximately 100 pounds. Renard was in good physical condition. He had been active in weightlifting, wrestling, bodybuilding, and martial arts. One would think that he could have easily wrestled the gun away from Patricia. Certainly, he could have done it without 3 shots being discharged in the struggle. The master bedroom closet where Patricia was found was accessed by walking through the master bathroom. If Renard really just wanted to look at his wife's cell phone, why didn't he just stop in the bathroom? Why go all the way through to the closet? Furthermore, how would Renard gain access to his wife's phone? She was hiding the screen from him, but didn't bother to have it protected with a password that only she knew. The master bedroom closet was constructed in a strange way. It had one room behind the door and another room to the left and forward, almost like making a U-turn. Renard said that the altercation occurred in the closet doorway. However, Patricia's body was found in that left forward area of the closet. It's possible that she stumbled there after being shot, but another possibility is that she was in the closet first and Renard approached her. Perhaps Patricia was packing in preparation to leave him. Maybe Renard was the aggressor, not Patricia. Even running under the assumption that only 3 shots were fired in total, it's hard to believe that the shooting could have occurred accidentally. Renard would have people believe that all 3 gunshots were fired unintentionally. The vast majority of the time, when a firearm is discharged, someone intended to fire it. Yet this pistol had 3 unintentional discharges in a row. Furthermore, all 3 bullets just happened to strike human beings. 2 bullets fatally struck Patricia, and 1 bullet struck and injured Renard. This is a very unlikely outcome for 2 people struggling for control over a pistol in a closet. Out of all the places these bullets could have traveled, into the floor, into the ceiling, through the walls, amazingly, all 3 struck people. One of Renard's attorneys made it seem like the Smith & Wesson pistol, in this case, had a light trigger pull. But unless this weapon had been modified, this is not true. The Smith & Wesson SW9C is a double-action-only semi-automatic pistol. The trigger pull was designed to be comparable to a double-action revolver. It's not quite that heavy, but it's more like a double-action revolver trigger pull than most semi-automatic pistols. This pistol is marketed to police departments. One of the selling points is a consistent, heavy trigger pull for each shot. Unfortunately, many police departments are plagued by negligent discharges. The heavy trigger pull reduces this risk. It is very hard to believe that any model of pistol could be fired unintentionally 3 times, but this particular model was actually designed to prevent negligent discharges. The already low risk would be even lower with this model. Renard told the 911 operator and the responding officers that the shooting was accidental. This meant that he did not shoot in self-defense. His statement ruled out a plausible defense strategy. Now, either this was an accident or it was murder. Moving to the exculpatory factors, clearly Patricia was upset with Renard at the time she was killed. Maybe Patricia was the aggressor and threatened him with the pistol. Perhaps she wounded him as he described. At this point, he took the pistol away from her and fired in self-defense. Worried about the believability of that story, he said it was an accident. This would make him a liar, but not necessarily a murderer. When considering all the evidence in this case, do I believe that Renard was guilty of murder? Yes, I believe he was guilty in reality, and I am convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. I think the jury came to the wrong verdict in this case. In my opinion, there is no way this was an accidental shooting. If Renard had claimed self-defense, a much better argument for reasonable doubt could have been made. But again, he said it was an accident. He is the one who boxed himself in with only accident or murder as possible explanations. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Not long before the shooting, Patricia was upset with Renard. She believed that he was lying to her. Patricia proclaimed that she was leaving and walked into the master bedroom closet in order to pack some of her belongings. Renard retrieved his pistol, walked into the closet, and shot her 3 times. Realizing he was in big trouble, mostly because of the murder part, he walked to another location in the house and caused a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his left leg. He hid the 4th spent case somewhere where the police never found it. Spent cases are pretty small. There are many places he could have hidden it. For some reason, instead of claiming self-defense, Renard indicated the shooting was accidental. This was a critical mistake. He should not have made any statement at all. Despite this blunder, he was found not guilty of murder. Perhaps the jury thought that his story was plausible, or they just felt like too much information was missing. There were too many questions without answers. For example, who was the aggressor? And how many shots were fired? Was it 3 or was it 4? Renard was extremely fortunate to have been found not guilty. He ended up with jury members who did not understand firearms or probability. Those are my thoughts on the case of Renard Spivey. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. There have been a lot of studies on the impact of luck on career success. So if somebody has success in their life, no matter what they do, part of that success is due to skill and part of it is due to luck. The more technical a person's line of work, the more technical the discipline, the more skill is involved as opposed to luck. So for an accountant, an engineer, a mental health professional, a computer programmer, some profession where some type of technical skill is required, there is more skill involved in their success. Researchers think it might be as high as 50% skill, which means that half of success is still luck. Looking at more subjective areas of expertise, like entertainers, people who act or sing or something like that, the skill is somewhere around 20% and the luck is around 80% in terms of the total contribution to the outcome. So skill only explains 20% of their success. That's even worse than it would be for, say, an engineer. So we see that luck is really important. It plays a major part in people's lives. Everybody wants to believe that they've achieved success due to their own skill, but in reality, it's probably at least 50% luck, even in the best cases. Now, in this case, the case of Renard Spivey, this wasn't about a career. His luck came in the form of being found not guilty. Sometimes a not guilty verdict is simply luck. It wasn't anything that he did. He didn't have a lot of skill demonstrated in this incident. One good move he did make, however, was not talking to the police later on, like after he was taken to the hospital. He made some statements initially. That was a mistake, but not talking later on probably helped him. So that was the skill portion, I guess. The rest of this was just luck. This was a very unexpected verdict. I agree that there wasn't as much evidence as a jury normally wants to see. I can understand the jury being upset with not having a better picture of what went on, especially considering there was a camera in the house. It didn't capture the incident with video, although it did capture some audio that was important. But even with the lack of evidence, again, I believe that there was no reasonable doubt in this case. There was doubt, but not reasonable doubt. So I think this just comes down to luck. Sometimes criminal defendants are just plain lucky, and that's probably what happened in this case.